It's about that time to talk about the grocery store and how to shop at the grocery store with registered dietitian Jenna Werner of Happy, Strong, Healthy. This is a big one.
This is my favorite topic.
I know, because we always hear you should shop around the perimeter of the grocery store. Why? And what does that mean?
You know, it's honestly the saddest thing. It breaks my heart because really and truly, it's the worst myth out there. Probably
Is it
not
really?
true, but it is not fair that we limit ourselves to just the outside of the grocery store. So it is true that there's a lot of great things around there, but there's also a lot of great things in the middle also.
Okay, so what are we focusing on? But let's work our way from outside in.
Yes.
So what are we focusing on when we're shopping on the outside perimeter?
So let me tell you this first. There are 5 food groups, right? 5 food groups make up a healthy diet. You have your fruits, your vegetables, your grains, your proteins, and your dairies. A combination of those 5 food groups makes up the majority of our healthy diets.
Right.
The perimeter of the store does have your produce department, so it has your fruits and vegetables.
Okay, covered there.
Yep, so you're typically walking around the store where you have your fruits and vegetables, and then you maybe go into your animal sources of protein, your meats, your chickens, they're all on the outside. And you move a little bit further, and in most grocery stores, you also have your dairy departments.
And most grocery stores also have a bakery on the perimeter.
Yes, right around there. That's a very good point.
I'm just saying.
Right? So when you walk around the store in that way, you've covered 4 out of the 5 food groups, but that poor grains food group, along with so many other things, are just simply not included in that outside.
Here's a big question, Jenna, because when we see the animal-based protein, what are we looking for in our meat? You know, usually you see 76% lean and 10% fat.
Yes.
What are we focusing on? Because it can get confusing.
Absolutely. And I would say that the easiest way to answer this question is everybody's needs are different. However, for optimal heart health, I personally always suggest aiming for at least 90% lean when it comes to ground beef. So that means 90% lean, 10% is coming from fat.
Okay.
So if you see an 80-20 and 85-15, that's that same ratio.
Okay, and focus on that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the inside.
My favorite
Okay,
part.
so why is it your favorite and why is it often overlooked?
So it's very easy, and in previous times we've talked about off air, you know, how it's easy to sell people on rules of nutrition, right? So telling someone they can only shop the outside of the grocery store, it's an easy maybe rule for someone to follow. However, it's unfair because in the middle of that store, like I said before, you have your whole grains, which are giving you fiber. You also have your plant-based sources of protein for the most part, like your beans.
Your beans.
And bean-based pastas. You have rices, which are awesome sources of whole grains. You also have those seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds that are sources of heart-healthy fats, but also sources of protein as well. You have your nut butter, your nuts and seeds in general. You have most grocery stores have the frozen food department in the middle of the store too.
Our steamed veggies are my friends.
Yes, and so convenience foods are key. You know, not all of us have the ability to cook 3 hot meals per day.
Right.
Sometimes we need to rely on things like easy prep items that need to be there for us when we get home from work.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times you can find that in the frozen food department. Plus, the most important part of a sustainable, nutritious diet is having something that makes you extra happy, something fun, a snack food. My favorite food is popcorn from the middle of the store. Actually, that's not true. I like peanut butter.
Okay.
My second favorite food would be popcorn.
Well, popcorn's one of my favorite snacks.
It's the best. And so if we only shopped to the outside, we couldn't get there. And then in addition to that, your cooking oils, all of these other food items are all found in the middle of the store. So I would say that this myth started based on food rules, and food rules based on dieting are just the way that we can kind of trick people into following what we want
I think
out of a diet.
It's that other P word that we don't like, the processed food, when you're talking about the food in the middle of the grocery store. So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, there's definitely more options for foods that are processed in the middle of the store. However, I want you to think about this in a different way, that unless you grew that food in your backyard and you picked it and you ate it, the food that you're eating and that you're buying from a store is going to undergo a certain level of processing before you get it, for the most part. So instead of fearing all of those foods, really looking for things that have specific call outs on them that are attractive to you and things that you like that will make your life a little bit easier, and buying the best foods for your family and for yourself.
I want you to share your wisdom, Jenna. Tips for going to the grocery store.
So I spent 5 years of my nutrition career being a retail dietitian, meaning I worked within the grocery store, within those aisles that I got to walk up and down. And the number one thing that I see that people don't do well when they food shop is they never give themselves any time. It's a chore.
You're rushing.
It's a chore.
Mostly.
It's something, I have to go food shopping, and people don't enjoy it. But the reality is that this is where you're getting your nourishment for your day that's actually going to attribute to how you feel. So we should really be finding the foods that make us feel good, right? And foods that you enjoy.
Foods that make us happy.
Right. Happy, healthy, and strong.
Exactly.
But in general, really giving yourself some time to find foods that will serve the purpose that you're looking for them to serve, make your life a little bit easier, and that will taste good to you. So again, when it stops becoming a chore and it becomes a little bit easier for you, and then you find where you can find the foods that you love, it's just a little bit more fun. So that's number one. Number two is I would always make some sort of a list for what you want to eat during the week.
Okay.
So really looking at your week at a whole.
Because you know what you're getting.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that way you can kind of build your shopping list around your staples. So
That's smart.
Figure out what you're going to either prep on Saturday or Sunday or even Monday, or make enough of Monday night dinner for leftovers so that you can eat throughout the week. Instead of having to food shop multiple times throughout the week, that's where it becomes more of that job for a lot of people. And the other thing that I hear often that's
Don't
definitely
go hungry, right?
helpful is
Yes.
don't go hungry, because you have more of an opportunity to either rush,
I want to eat
not
everything.
focus, or open up everything in the middle of the store. But hey, if something looks really good to you, try it before you buy it, and then buy it afterwards, of course.
Yes,
But
don't leave it there.
maybe don't buy two if you don't like it. But definitely don't go hungry, because it opens you up to seeing things that maybe you wouldn't necessarily
Absolutely.
see.